Awesome. That's so great. I'm just I mean, yes, I'm biased of course, but like I'm just so glad that we connected so long ago and it's cool. Like I've actually had like four students since you and you have been the only one that's actually like wanted to continue it. So I just think that's really cool. Awesome. Well, ma'am, let's talk about what your assignment is. What's required? Yes. Yeah. Awesome. Well, a lot of factors, but to keep it short and sweet, 15 years ago when my daughter was born, I was like, okay, I'm alone in my house. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so let me figure out something creative that I can do from home. And so I was like, oh, let me get a camera. This is really before iPhones were really good at the time, so you had to purchase like an actual camera and learn how to use a camera. I was like, well, I already have a baby at home, might as well learn how to do photography. And from that, I taught myself how to do everything I do now. But then it transitioned into, oh, people saw my work on Facebook and was like, hey, can you do my wedding? Can you do my senior photos? Whatever. And so then it just evolved into a business after doing it for 2 or 3 years. So anyway, yeah, so it's been a journey for sure. I still ask myself that question now because it's a very hard road in general. Just being an artist is it's a very emotional roller coaster when you're an artist and when you're a self-employed business owner. It's not an easy road. It's not something that you're just gonna wake up one day, everything's gonna be great. It's gonna be roses and lollipops. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a lot of self-doubt and there's gonna be a lot of like, hey, is this what I'm meant to do? Why do I love it? Can I keep pursuing my why even though I've been doing it for so long? Like, how do I keep it fresh? Even after all of the ups and downs and all of the rejections and all that. And so I just in general, being an artist is what keeps me strong and keeps me centered. And any art form, like setting up sets or making graphics or handling websites for people, or photography is just one of the many facets of being an artist that I do. But obviously I wouldn't do it if I didn't love it. So, and even, at church, I'm donating my services to help, different nonprofits and helping those and teaching students on reduced cost. And so obviously I wouldn't keep pursuing it if I didn't love what I do. So, oh, good. I use them all the time, actually. So even just I'm okay. So long story short, one of my passion projects is doing like magical sessions for especially for kids. I'm getting into special needs magical sessions where basically, like, I even had somebody from the church walk up and be like, "Hey, my son has MS, and he's in a wheelchair." And I said, "Hey, what superhero do you want to be?" And he's like, "I love Spider-Man." I'm like, "Let's go." So we are already setting up a session where he's going to, I'm going to AI generate out his wheelchair and we're going to figure out a way to get him in Spider-Man poses for him to feel empowered. And the only reason I can do that and I can offer those services is before AI, I would have to find all of these like masking tools and overlays and spider webs and cities, and it would take hours to like make a movie poster of for this kid. But now I can just do the lasso tool and type in and generate like city, spider webs, lightning, landscape, whatever. And then within 30 seconds to a minute, I have a decent start of a good photo. And then obviously if there's like glass glare or, stray hairs or even, acne or whatever, it's just so much faster. It would take me hours before. Now with that, I am using AI to do all of my posting, like my scheduled posting, like captions, because I manage like mom and pop coffee shops for their social media. So I'm using ChatGPT for like blog posts or for captions or just for like scheduling ideas or hey, I want to find a blog about such and such, such, such getting generating ideas or hey a logo client will come to me and be like hey here's a logo that I generated on Canva, can you clean it up on Illustrator? And so we are in tandem with a lot of AI tools now. I even have apps that generate video content from like a still image. Like I took a magical beautiful image of this lady and she was holding a sword, so it was like she wanted to be a knight like in her castle, very fantasy, romance, whatever. And so in the AI video tool, I was able to put her behind a waterfall, and it was just an epic shot of like where I would have to go find a waterfall in Virginia. Like this would be really hard for me now, but now I can just take it into my backyard, and then the AI tool creates this beautiful epic thing. So a lot of people are controversial about this, but I'm using AI a lot in tandem with a lot of the art and the creativity that I already have, and it's just a time saver for me. On the flip side of that, I have noticed that I have less work of being approached to me because why pay for a headshot session from me when they can go get an AI tool and do a headshot session? So that has, I've seen the less demand. I've seen like people are like, oh, why do I need to hire this person when I can use AI tools instead? So I have seen that. So that would be kind of a drawback of that. Hmm. For sure. I mean, for me especially because I work at a very small garage. It's just like a 500 square foot converted garage space, you know. But for people that don't know, it's a very small space. So I just have like a very like a little um, backdrop corner that I just like pull a paper down. And so instead of spending hours in masking tools and like expanding the background, I can think, you know what? I can take care of it in AI, and I don't care if there's cords showing. I don't care if there's, stuff on the floor now. I'm just like, let me just create art and spend more time creating art than have to worry about now I have to buy all these sets and props and lights where I can add things in the background or expand the background very easily now, where it would take me hours to like do these things. So that has changed the way I work. Also for my social media clients, because I use AI tools like I use a tool called Marquee AI that helps to basically I'll type in like their website name and it'll pre-generate according to their colors, their branding, their voice, and it'll pre-generate like a bunch of like memes or content or captions for 30 days. So all I have to do is copy and paste, stick it in my scheduler for Facebook, and then it takes me like maybe an hour to do a month's worth of content for a client where it would take me hours to like make me all the Canva things and like type in all the captions. So already I'm saving so much time. I can knock out I have 6 social media clients that I post for, and I can knock it out within an afternoon now where I have more room to create. I have more room to think of sets. I have more room for collaborations. I have more room for other mental things. Um, what else? I think I touched on most of them. So for me, I'm always thinking like, oh, what tool can I use now in Illustrator or Photoshop? Or I wish this is what I wish. What AI tool that I wish could be added to the Adobe suite is a video portion. I know we have Sora 2 that's out there and people are using it like crazy and they love it, but they need to have a collaboration with Premiere because I already pay all this money for all these Adobe things and Firefly and all this stuff. They need to have a video portion. That's just me. They didn't ask me, like I'm not getting paid for this, but I'm just like there needs to be a video aspect because if not, I got to pay for all these AI apps, and I'm already paying for Adobe. So nope. I There's no way that I could have imagined doing that. I remember very early on thinking, man, I wish that I could speed up my process, or I wish that I could, because just like blogging every week for these clients to do SEO has been a burden, like coming up with ideas and like hand creating all this content. Like, I'm just like, man, there needs to be a faster way to do this. Um, and even just yesterday, I have a middle school photography student that comes over every week, and we just create and we learn. And I have an old laptop for her, and we're learning all these processes. And I am telling her, hey, let's go to Lightroom, do some basic edits, and then I'm like, hey, let's go to Photoshop and do an in tandem AI generate tool. So I'm teaching her how to do like generate captions and building on her knowledge. Right now, she's in middle school and she's already using a lot of AI tools at school, so she's already familiar with wording and captions and all of these things. So it's interesting to see. And I'm telling her, look, when this has only come out in the last year that we can do this. When I was starting, this was not an option. I had to go find folders of like commercial free, license free, um, and clip art and sunshines and magic and glitter and all these things. And I had folders I had purchased from Etsy, like hundreds of dollars with the presets and all these things. For me to now, I have to look through all these folders for me to drag and drop. I mean, it would have taken me hours to do this. So even just the sense of going to a park and being with a family for like a Christmas photo session, they would want to throw balloons or glitter. And I was like, look, we can't, we don't want to destroy the environment. So I'm gonna have to Photoshop in like a special, image for like Happy New Year, and then but it would take me hours to do this. So now I'm like, sure, let's do as many as we want now because it's like so much faster for me to do that. But anyway, yeah, there's no way I would have imagined that this technology would have been there. And pros and cons, I think artists need to either figure out a way to use the tools to their benefit and save their time because I feel like it's here to stay. So we might as well use the tools. So again, I think a lot of the things that I use are very controversial in a lot of my photography groups. Many of them are like, if you're going to submit a photo to be published, you need to either, say AI was used in this photo, or you need to, like, you're not even allowed to enter into these contests, to these magazines, to these cover photo contests because you use AI. And then there's all of these other people that are like, well, I used it for the masking tool for face and blemishes, but I didn't use it for the sunshine and the rainbows and whatever they're putting in there. And so even within the community, there's a lot of backlash and a lot of like, how dare you use it? But I feel like, I mean, my husband's a contractor. This is a metaphor that I was thinking is yes, my husband could build a house with a hammer and nail. It would take him months. It would take him a long time. Or he can use tools that are like super power fast, air compressor tools and whatever. So he can just go boom, 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 and then he can just go make the thing faster. I mean, both art forms of like by hand woodworking with hand tools is very valuable and is awesome. But there's also people that do art with power tools, and I don't feel like they're not valuable. They're just doing it differently. So that's kind of my analogy for that. I definitely think that we need some type of accountability format that, hey, if you're posting to social media, that you have to claim, hey, AI was used, or, with the help of AI, or, um, because again, me as a millennial, I know what real people look like, and people have, blemishes, and people have wrinkles. But young people seeing a lot of these AI generated things, I don't think they understand what's real and not real. So for we need to have some type of accountability, for making sure that we are claiming, hey, AI was used, how much. But I don't feel like we should ban it entirely, you know. Oh, that's a really good question. So I get this a lot. I have, especially young women, I do a lot of photography for young women empowerment sessions and business owners that are women. And a lot of them are like, hey, can you take out blemishes? And I'll take out like acne, or like if they are self-conscious about like a mole, or like obviously if the hair is, crazy or whatever. But I'm not going to do body shaping. I will not make them look like a Kardashian. I won't do nose shaping. Like I'm not going to take out their real body shape. I think that's where my line is crossed. I feel like you can pose in a way that's flattering for most body types. And if they want to look like a mermaid riding on top of a unicorn with rainbows, sure, I'll throw in some unicorns, I'll throw in some rainbows, I'll throw in some glitter, but I'm not going to make their chest bigger, or make, their body, have, dysmorphia. We don't want that. Where a lot of people, I've had people come to me and be like, you didn't, I look the same. I'm like, well, that's the point of you are you. Like, I can't improve on who you are. Like, you are a beautiful human. But I've had people like, oh, well, I expected it to be fully retouched. My nose is taken away, my hips are bigger. I'm like, that's not me, boo boo. Like, if you can go to a retoucher from Fiverr that's in India and make you look like Kim Kardashian, but that's not me. So I feel like that's kind of the line, that I'm not going to use AI for that, or technology to do that. But if people want to add magic or clouds or rainbows or glitter, that's fine. I'll add that. Obviously, I wouldn't want to do, stuff that is controversial. Um, like some people are using it to for bad. We don't want that. Okay. We want it to be something that's going to give life, going to promote empowerment, going to promote, happiness. But I could see how people could misconstrue it for, bad. We don't want that. For example, I had a friend of mine talk about how her son's senior photos were taken by a predator, and basically they use his senior photos as a way to use a fake profile to like groom young women from different things. And so there was a whole investigation of like, who is this person? So the police came to her house and was like, hey, your son is, preying on these young girls. And she's like, that's not my son. I don't even know. He doesn't have any record of this software. Like, who is this? Come to find out, somebody took his senior photos and then made a fake profile and used video, like AI tools, to actually create a, relationship. So obviously that is a bad use. We don't want that. Um, so that is something that I have to balance, of like, hey, when I work with minors or when I work with senior photos, like, hey, are you okay? Like, what is your level of privacy that you want with these photos? Like, most people are like, cool, post them on your social media. I'll use them for whatever I want. But I always have to ask and have them sign a waiver, or like sign like, hey, if you want them completely off the record, no social media presence, no nothing, and you just want to keep them private for your own family, we need to know now, because I don't want that to happen, where the police are like, hey, where are these senior photos from, and who did you give them to? Did they have the sign off saying that they were okay to be used on social media? So that is kind of a flip side of the a tool that can be used for bad, a tool that can be used for good. So that's kind of a real life story of photographers that are having to cross this bridge of people, flipping, perverting the art and the beauty of it, that could use it for bad. So that's something that we have to cross for sure. That's a really good question. Obviously, my first reaction is like, no, but it's so good and will continue to be so good in the future that it's going to be so hard to differentiate between handmade and AI generated. Right now in the news, there's an actress. I know everybody. If you're living under a rock, you haven't heard the story. But basically, there's an AI actress that is now in competition with real like Hollywood stars. And like, what? This is AI? We didn't even know this looks like a teenager from Brooklyn, and she's in all of these AI films on YouTube, and now she's an actress. And so it is difficult as the technology gets more and as the technology gets more advanced. It will be very hard to differentiate between handmade art. So that is something that I will have to cross the bridge in the future. Um, but does it hurt my creativity to work with, like, even tomorrow I have somebody that wants to be Jessica Rabbit from the 90s movie, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So she's going to cosplay as Jessica Rabbit. We got a dress for her. I'm going to set up like a little stage area in my studio. I have curtains, I have a microphone. It's going to be beautiful. So the creative process for me is just enhanced by the use of, like, now I can add stage lights in AI, I can add a smoke in AI, but I'm limited to this very tiny space, so I can span the background in AI. But would I completely say, hey, I'm going to generate this girl in AI, change everything about her, and then give her the photos as, hey, this is you as a AI avatar? I don't think I would ever want to do that. um But she's totally worked with AI artists to make her be Princess Leia in the Millennium Falcon, riding through the galaxy, and it's her face on an avatar body, and she's fine with it. So I guess it just depends on the artist, what they're okay with, like how far they're willing to take the art and the technology. She's totally fine using AI to do whatever and change her face shape. I don't know if I'm there yet, to be asked to do that, but that is something I'm gonna have to cross um in the future for sure. Yeah. Oh, that's a good. Well, even just the technology that's inside the physical camera, like Nikon, I shoot Nikon, and I know people are like, probably people in the comments will be like, "Oh, Nikon." Well, I'm sorry, this is what I do. But anyway, even Nikon has AI tools that's built into the mirrorless line for eye detection, face detection, focus detection, and it is a lifesaver. Where earlier they didn't have these tools, so even shooting weddings, I had to like shoot, screenshot, make sure everything was set up, make sure, like, it would take forever to like get the settings just right, to look in the back, make sure. Well, now with AI, I can see exactly what I'm using, and the focus is like sharp, like super sharp. And so that has been a lifesaver. So no, I don't wish the technology, like, I'm glad technology has improved. It has improved and it's helped me to shoot faster, to shoot more, that I can shoot all day and not have to worry about simple things like, will the light flash? Will the focus actually work? So no, I'm glad that we have improved technology. I'm glad that my processes have improved. Am I regretful that the technology has been used for deception? No. That's not something that artists should celebrate. Um, I tell the kids that the internet is like a knife. Okay, so in general, the internet is a tool. A knife is a tool. Okay, a knife can be used to, like, survive, to hunt, to make tools, to build a shelter. So it can be used for good. right? And it, just like I talked about the story about the senior photo story, it can also be used to hurt and to, destroy as well. And so I think any of this technology is just about it, like what is your ethics? What is your worldview of like how to use this technology to help other people? Um, and to hurt other people. And so obviously there are people that have used it for evil. Would I go back in time to the film days? I mean, like, how early are we talking about? I don't feel like we should go back in time to the film days, because then therefore photography was not available to everybody. It was very closed door what you could do. The knowledge was very closed door. There was a lack of creativity. There was a huge obstacle of like who can actually do this. So I am glad that technology has advanced, but again, it's going to be a amount of like, hey, these are my worldviews. This is what I'm willing to do. This is not what I'm willing to use it for. So, mm, I think it's definitely going to be something that this is something I actually talked to my husband about recently. Of as technology gets more advanced, there's going to be a whole underground resistance of people that are going to be like, hey, I hand make goods and services. I do everything by hand. I do weaving by hand, or I do whatever, woodworking. So there's going to be a whole, I don't feel like any of the arts that are done by hand are going to go away. I feel like they're just going to become more valuable as technology gets more, and how we have, a world that we can live online, or people are going to be basically living avatars online. I mean, like Ready Player One, I know is like super sci-fi, but that's a great movie to see, because that is literally the future of what all of these technologies are going to do. People are just going to live online, but then there's going to be this underground resistance of creators and makers and crafters that are going to have handmade goods and services that are still just going to be just as valuable. And so me being an artist, I can use the technology, but I don't let it overtake my life. And I tell my husband all the time, because he's a contractor, and there's no robot that's going to take his job. So he has he has job security forever, because no robot's going to know how to fix a bathroom or redo a kitchen. For me, I've actually had a lot of struggle because, like I said, the technology has become so advanced. My skill set might become obsolete. And so I have to figure out ways that I can still be an artist and create and make custom content for people, that I have to now prove my worth, because there are tools that are replacing my skill set. And so I have to constantly think of, okay, how can I still make myself valuable? How can I still improve my skill set, learn, grow, develop, take classes, so that I can be still relevant? Because if not, people are going to be like, oh, well, I don't need headshots anymore. I don't need senior photos anymore. I can just put my kid in an AI generator tool and they can have all their senior photos. So, something that I've actually showed more value is I have a traveling photo booth. You know this, but it's like I set up backdrops, I set up balloon arches, and I bring two printers on site to pass out to all these people. And I feel like the people that come up to get a physical print of their time in the photo booth, they have to come and talk to me like 10 years later, like, oh, you're the photo lady. They'll be at Target or something, like, I still have your photo on my fridge, because printing out photos is so rare and such a tangible thing that people just aren't doing anymore. People have thousands of photos on a phone, on a camera roll, on a Dropbox, whatever, but a physical, tangible photo, nobody has that anymore. And so for them to be like, hey, it's been on my fridge for 10 years, like that's how special it is. Like that's what brings me joy, knowing, hey, AI can't replicate that experience. They can't replicate a real in person experience. And it's just that amount of like hey, I'm willing to go the extra mile to set up 2 hours before the event, to take down an hour before the event, to buy $200 worth of film and prints and all of these things for me to have this experience. And I think it's just a matter of like, are people willing to value that experience? Um, and it's just a marketing your experience over your, you know, skill set, because the experience is what people remember. So that's just how something I'm trying to work on and being continuing to be relevant in a world of technology that could replace me. So, okay, well, probably you're probably not gonna want to hear this. I feel like, look, photography is a very expensive field. So unless you are really willing to get the gear, the knowledge, and the technology, like it is a lot of investment. Like I feel like early on, like when I was starting out, I feel like 10,000 was like the investment that I put first, like in my business, like between the computers and the iPads and the software and the cameras and the lights and all these things. I feel like 10,000 was like, you know, the initial investment, where that's kind of scary for a lot of people. So I always kind of like warn younger photographers, like, hey, it's expensive. So if you don't want to do that, learn how to do iPhone. Like you can do a whole bunch of stuff on an iPhone. Start there before you get into more like professional gear. Um, so that I would say that first of all, it's very expensive. Do I regret it? No. Um, do I have just sheds filled with props and sets and all? Yes. Do I regret it? No. My husband always jokes with me. He's like, "You are almost a hoarder, but you're very. It's a very pretty. It's pretty hoarding." So that's another thing I would say to young photographers is you learn a bunch of skill sets. Like, don't just focus on one thing. Like, learn anything that you can about being creative. Like I said, through this talk, learning writing skills, learning, basic graphic skills, basic website development skills, or basic marketing skills, or video editing skills, because you never know who's going to call you to do, hey, can you do this? Can you show up to my nonprofit? Can you do a video of my fashion show? Can you do this? And if you are like, yeah, I'm a one stop shop, I can do all of it. I can make a music video for you, or I can come and do your event. You are more valuable than, oh, this person that's just only does this thing. Very controversial. People don't like me saying this in groups because they're like, no, you need a niche. You can only do one thing. I find that I'm more busy doing a whole bunch of different things. Where I'm like, let's say, but then some people have success just being like the senior photographer of Hampton Roads. Great, that works for you. That's never worked for me. Having a whole bunch of skills is what's worked for me. And so I would say that to a young person, like get as many skills as you can, learn as many trades as you can, learn as many skills as you can, because you never know what season of life that you're going to be in. During 2020, when everything was shut down, managing people's social media and taking products and food and headshots paid our bill, physically paid our bills, because my husband was unemployed. Then when he became employed and started his own business, then my marketing skills helped him find work. And then from that, it's like, oh, well, now we need video content. Now we need this. Now we need that. And so for me, having multiple skill sets has been good, good for me, and it's helped. Um, so that's what I would tell young people is just get as many skill sets as you can and make yourself invaluable. So no, girl, but we need to get together. Like if you ever want to hang out and shoot and do stuff. Oh, sweet. Yep. Well, I'm still here. Everybody's like, "Hey, are you still around?" I'm still around, guys. just raising kids, homeschooling, and trying to survive. That's my season that I'm in right now. That'd be great. All right, ma'am. Uh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good